going on, dudes and dudettes? Yes, I know I recently talked about a women's player from Oregon State. I believe her name was Talia Von Oelhoffen. Still haven't heard the last name said correctly, but she was one of the better players out there in the Pac-12 last season, and she was looking to transfer. And I guess after hearing Kiki Irafin, one of the better players from Stanford, transferring to USC, I guess they were visiting together, and pretty much the next day she has decided to officially transfer to USC as well. So I guess that kind of shuts down the hopes of officially having Haley Van Lith join the team, but I think she is kind of already officially a TCU Horned Frog. But other than that, yes, this is a pretty big pickup. I think she's a really good scorer, very good shooter as well. She'll work very well out there running alongside Juju Watkins and Kiki. I don't know exactly how tall she is, so I don't know if she's going to be a forward or playing a three or anything like that, but we'll have to see. It's not hard to add talent like this, and they're just building a really good super team out there, especially with a lot of the younger talent that they already have coming in from high school too, so that's pretty cool. And I think she even had said in her transfer, her post, that she was on a Panini Prism card or one of those trading cards, something like that, those sports cards, and I guess that's a new NIL deal that she already got while doing the transfer to USC. So I don't know if she got that because they knew she was transferring to USC officially or because of how talented she was last year. But either way, it does not hurt to come to USC out there for those future recruits to see something like that. So that is pretty cool for them to look at and see. And then there was a Georgia Southern kicker, and his name is Michael Lance, I believe. And yes, I believe he is going to be transferring to the men's football team. I guess head coach Lincoln Riley does not have a lot of faith in Dennis Lynch, the kicker that's been there the past couple of years. And I guess he's just bringing in some more competition. I thought they had either a preferred walk-on or some type of high school guy coming in as well this year. Maybe that's still the case, and Lance is only for a 1-year type of thing because he is a transfer, so maybe he doesn't have that much eligibility left. But I kind of assumed Lynch is most likely going to move on at some point. He could probably still stick around to get his degree from USC if he wanted to, but I don't think he's going to get much playing time. That's just my opinion. And there was another transfer to the men's basketball side from Michigan. He's a forward, and Terrance Williams II. Apparently he was one of the better, more solid players on that team. I think he averaged over 14 points as well. So this was a big time gig because I remember during the transfer portal a lot of teams had reached out to him, a lot of good teams as well, and I didn't even know USC was in the process of trying to get him. So that's pretty cool that they were able to snag one of the better players still left in the portal. I think, like I said, like I always kind of keep saying, they have a couple more spots. I think there was an Xavier player that they recently were linked to or that he visited as well. So maybe he will be announcing soon. You never know. And then one of the top 2026 quarterbacks, Ryder Lyons out there. I forget if he is committed to USC or not. I thought he was, but maybe it's just because of his brother, Walker Lyons, the tight end, is going to be coming to USC in the fall after his mission right out of high school. I think it would be a perfect marriage for those two brothers to reunite in college, especially the same one at USC. But yeah, he definitely visited recently at USC and felt like he was a main priority for them. Even in the 2026 class, obviously it makes it easier that Julian Lewis reclassified to 25, so he will be coming sooner than Lyons. They would have both been part of the same class, but now Lyons probably feels more comfortable coming in and not having to waste another maybe 2 years to wait until he starts. He probably would just have to wait 1 year until Lewis ends up most likely becoming officially an NFL player at some point after his time, or maybe have to wait 2 years, I guess, depending on how those years end up stacking up. But yeah, either way, at least he's still considering USC. Feels like a priority, like I said, and hopefully they will be able to officially get him as well as their future quarterback. And one of the players that did not get drafted or sign a minicamp deal or invited to minicamp was the defensive lineman from USC, Tyrone Taleni, but it looked like he was selected in the first round, pick number 3, to one of the CFL teams. I think they're from Saskatchewan, something like that. But yeah, the third pick in that draft is pretty good because it means that you're probably pretty close to being drafted in the NFL as well, because I saw how your talent was, but maybe he probably just sticks up there a year or so, work on his game to officially be able to sign with whoever. So I think some guys have done that. They've also waited and seen too where they get drafted in the CFL, and if they're drafted high, maybe they can use that as leverage to say, hey, I got drafted high here, I'm a pretty good priority, so maybe you want to sign me and bring me on as some type of camp thing. So you never know, he could use that and sway himself back to the NFL, but that was pretty cool to see the other day. And then there was one of the top things that USC did over this last draft was get 7 guys drafted, which was pretty good. I think they were tied 9th with, sadly, Notre Dame. But yes, they were at least one of the top 10 teams as far as number of players drafted from a school. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, Michigan, I think, was number 1 because that's what usually happens when you're the most recent national champion, and they had so many guys invited to the combine as well. So that wasn't surprising. But yes, at least USC did make the top 10, so that's pretty cool in my mind for future recruits to see. And then there was an edge who I believe played for both Tennessee and maybe Louisville. His name is Tyler Barron. And USC is showing some interest in him, even though I don't even think he played for, Louisville. I think he was just maybe there over the spring, and that was kind of it. So I don't really want to trust in guys like that, but if he's really officially wanting to stick with some school, and, fight it out, try to get a roster spot, then, that's all good to me too. But yeah, we'll see how Tyler ends up going. And then, yes, there was a 4-star wide receiver in Corey Sims who recently said that USC is in his top 4 right now of the schools that he's really looking at. I don't think he has a Final Four, but he listed 4 schools that have been pretty much recruiting him the hardest and the most. So yeah, at least USC is still in the running for one of the top 4-star wide receivers out there. And PFF also kept track of which positions had which school drafted first by that during the draft, and obviously USC had the first quarterback taken, so they took that slot, but also Duke had the first center selected in the draft as well in that first round, so that's pretty cool to see 2 of my teams represented there. But I think they recently put out an update on the 2024 high school basketball recruiting rankings, and it looks like USC is still up there around 13. I think they were still there even when they had those 3 players prior, but I guess some of the players that they did pick up were pretty talented enough. I think I can only think of 2 maybe better high school guys, but just those 2 guys alone kept them at 13, which is pretty cool in my opinion. And then obviously Duke is number 1 with that crazy class that they have coming in, that prolific class, so definitely have some high hopes for them. And I think even on 3, they do like an official 5-star ranking of a lot of players, and 2 Duke players made that top 9. Obviously Cooper Flagg is there at number 1 as the main top 5-star player, and then the center Kaman Maluwak, he also made at number 9, one of the 5 stars in the country as well in that 2024 class. So yes, definitely looking forward to seeing how these guys gel during the summer workouts and heading into fall camp as well. And yes, surprisingly and sadly, apparently, NBC Sports is kind of putting together a $2.5 billion deal. I think it said annually or something like that, with the NBA to try to get air some of their games live on their network. Once again, I remember they used to have some of the better Sunday, morning or afternoon matchups that I used to watch when I was younger. So they're probably trying to get back in the game, but it's also kind of squeezing out Turner Sports, which is TNT, which obviously has one of the better shows, especially sports shows on TV, called Inside the NBA with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq. But I would kind of hope that they would bring back that crew along to the NBC side, even though they are different companies, I think, but it's still part of the NBA. But yeah, it would be the end of an era, one of the better sports shows, as I said, out there for the past couple of decades. So yeah, hoping that those guys don't end up going by the wayside and being left out on, by themselves. But yes, this could be a very sad time for those guys. And then yes, speaking of sad times, yes, the Lakers did lose Game 5 to the Denver Nuggets in Denver, 106-108. And obviously, a lot of speculation is if, LeBron is going to end up opting out. It kind of looks like he will, just to be able to try to work out a longer deal. I think he might either get more money or just more guaranteed or something like that. So it's probably why he wants to work out that type of deal and maybe have a no trade clause, something like that. Obviously, we have to see what D'Angelo Russell wants to do because he has that player option and kind of said recently that he has the leverage in that case. But if he opts in, then he's most likely going to get traded at some point, but he probably won't opt in if he feels like he is going to get traded. So, but I also don't expect him to get that much money per year basis in the free agency anyway. So we'll see how that goes. And obviously, you have to figure out if you're going to fire the head coach, Darvin Ham, as well, who's kind of being scapegoated here, but that's kind of like how things go. But yeah, especially when it's coming to they're saying that LeBron most likely is going to be playing a couple more seasons, which isn't that much, but they're still trying to wait and see if Bronny James is officially in the draft. I know some places may have said he was, but I think those were just rumors. He still has some time to decide, but the Lakers supposedly said they're willing to maybe do that to fulfill LeBron's dream of that happening in the NBA. But I just think if they do the second round pick on him, that's fine. If they're going to use, pick number 17 in the first round, that would be too high for me to pick somebody like Bronny just to try to keep LeBron on your team. And plus, I've heard reports too that that's not even the main reason for LeBron to sign with a certain team, just because, say, like San Antonio or some other crap team like Charlotte signs him in the draft does not mean LeBron's going to go sign there either. So we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.